guys, if you want to get Parker, he's going to go first.
Come on up right to the microphone there.
This is Samson himself. Except when you cut your hair, you get more.
Yeah.
Like the reverse Samson.
Oh, is it?
I'm still mad at the upper campus.
I'm growing it out again. Growing it out again.
Yep.
Yep.
Expect nothing less.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I cut it, and as soon as I cut it, they came out like, oh, you can have long hair as long as it's not. So, whatever.
All right, we good? Well, Parker, how did it feel to score your first 2 touchdowns, or at least account for 2 touchdowns for BYU last week?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a dream come true for sure. I've always dreamt of scoring a touchdown in college football, and I don't think it could have came at a better time, at a better atmosphere than that. Although getting one at LES would be fun, but being in SEC territory was crazy.
How'd you evaluate your throw overall after watching it on film?
It could have been better. I kind of lobbed it up there. It was a little bit of a duck, but it definitely could have been better.
It's because of the glove, right?
Yeah.
Is that what Keaton or anybody told you? Have they gone back at you like, hey, try this, try that?
No, they said I threw a good ball, but I know it can be better. So, yeah.
That kind of gadget play, because you're sort of used to the position from high school and
Yeah.
everything, being in the backfield that much. Does any of it ever kind of come back to you, spatial awareness, that sort of thing? Like, okay, I know what I'm doing here. It's all
Yeah, it definitely came back to me in that. I mean, I got the ball, I spun it like I normally do when I played in high school. I get it, spin it, find the laces, and threw it, and that's exactly what I did. It just all came back right in that moment, and it felt good to throw again.
Can you take us through the process of how you got to BYU and how that came about?
Yeah, I was first recruited at Air Force. They were the only ones that were coming at me. I mean, I had everyone saying that, oh, we want you, and I was just like, okay, we'll see who really wants me, and I committed to Air Force, and a day later, A-Rod calls my head coach, and he's like, what's Parker doing? And then I get a call from Fess, and he's like, hey, can you come down? And that's when he took me on a tour here and offered me.
Was BYU a school you cheered for growing up, or what? How'd you regard BYU?
No, it wasn't. They were my rival because I was a Boise fan growing up. That's where my dad went, so I was a huge Boise fan, lived in Idaho for a little bit, but once I got here, I knew that there's no other place in the country that I'd rather be.
So BYU offering us like,
Yeah.
It's cool, but what was the impression of BYU? What sold you on BYU?
I just walked into the offices, started talking with Fess in person, and I'm like, I just got this strong feeling like this is like where I need to be. The coaches, they put football aside, and they really are personable with you. They care more about how you are outside of football than you are inside of football, which I really like, because we can get distracted with football and forget about the other parts of our lives, and they really hone in on us being good outside of football before.
Did they sell you on playing receiver right away? You played a variety of positions in high school.
Yeah, Fessy sold me on playing receiver right away. He saw my speed. He saw that what I can do with the ball in my hands, and he knew that I'd play receiver here.
How fast are you?
I like to say I run a 4.3. We'll see. We'll see whenever I run a 40 again, but I think that's what I can get.
Did you ever go at it with Marcus McKenzie or some of the other guys?
Yeah, I mean, we raced once in high school, and it was only in a 60, and he got me, but my time is faster in the 100s, so we'll see. But he also was moving and kind of hurt himself in the state, but he still ran a fast time.
How excited are you to have Big 12 play officially here this Saturday?
Yeah, it's going to be sweet. First time, first game, first team in the Big 12. It's going to be awesome.
What do you see from Kansas, if anything, on film?
They got good, long DBs, which same as Arkansas, good long DBs. We need to be able to win our one-on-ones, and we'll see what happens.
Has Darius talked about going up against his brother with you at all?
No, he says he's not going to bring him up at all until after the game, so, yep.
I didn't realize this because he claims Chandler as his hometown, but he actually he went to high school in Lawrence.
Yeah.
Has he brought up like the area or anything like that?
No, I haven't asked
KU
him.
means there?
No, I haven't asked him at all, but after this, I'll ask him for sure.
What does it mean to be a part of, to finally be to the first Big 12 game in BYU history? Be part of it and be contributing, I guess, the way that you are as a redshirt freshman?
Yeah, it's crazy. I never thought it would come. I mean, I never thought that I would be playing, being part of the first Big 12 game, and I'm happy that it's here and happy the role that I've been able to accomplish being on this offense.
As far as arriving to the point where you're on the 2 deep, a contributor and all that, can you take us through that and how'd that come about? Like from the day you first started, how'd you reach the point where you were able to break in?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to take all the mental reps last year, learning from Puka, learning from Koss, learning from Gunner, all those guys, even Cody, I mean, everyone. I just was able to take those mental reps all last year, and coming into spring ball, something just clicked in my head, and I was able to feel confident again, feel confident with the playbook, and then I broke my hand. I'm like, oh, like seriously, like,
early on too,
yeah. As soon as I started feeling it, and then fall camp came, and it just felt the same as spring ball, and I did what I had to do. So.
All right.
Thanks, Parker.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Parker.
thank you.
He's a big deal, Fessy. As a child of the 90s, Coach, you'll appreciate. Coach, as a fellow child of the 90s, you'll appreciate. They say Parker Kingston can't lose. Oh, no, that's Lewis. Parker Lewis can't lose.
Mr. Keaton,
How's it going?
How are you?
Good.
good. Your evaluation at Arkansas game.
Yeah, wasn't our best day, and lots of mistakes still to clean up, but it was good to see us play well in spurts and not make too many mistakes to cost us the game. We still put up a lot of points. We were really efficient when we did score, really were efficient in the red zone, and they're a really good defense, a really good team. So, again, proud to get a win, happy to come out of there with a win, but a lot to build off of, and I think our best ball's ahead of us.
I wanted to ask you about that efficiency. I think it was like 55 plays, but 38 points. That obviously got to be pleased with that.
Yeah, definitely. That's especially now college football's kind of slowed down a little bit with the time, the way the clocks run. You're not going to get as many plays as you have, so it's important to be efficient on those plays, and it's really important too when we get the ball and in the plus side of the field or even with a shorter field to be efficient and score on those drives. And I thought we did a good job of that last week.
We were joking with Fessy just now, but is Parker Kingston insufferable with you right now, saying he's coming for your job, throwing one touchdown pass? Or?
No, he actually hasn't. He knows he knows I throw him the ball too, so he's really smart. But no, Parker's one of my best friends. We were giving him a hard time. We were going through the comments, and some other fan bases were asking for Parker Kingston to be their quarterback. So that was a bit of an ego boost for him for sure.
Do you still feel as comfortable as you did in the preseason with this offense, and in what areas do you feel like it's evolved in the 3 games?
Yeah, you just get different looks and different defenses as you game plan too. There's new stuff getting thrown in, but I feel really comfortable with the offense. I just think it's just a matter of executing on all cylinders and putting together a complete game. Again, I thought last week we played in spurts really well, and other spurts not as well. So I think we all, as a unit, as an individual, I think we feel like we can play better.
Last Saturday was the first time you took a few hits as far as sacks go. How do guys like Dr. Skylar May and Colby Kloss, how do they get you ready week after week so you feel at your best health-wise, and where are you at on that front?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. They do a great job. It changes week to week. There's always something new and a little something different. It's a constant battle to just feel as well as you can go in the game. But honestly, after this game, I felt better. The one SU hit I did take was actually kind of tougher than the multitude of them last week, just because the nature of them, the whiplash, I guess. But luckily I feel pretty good, and a lot of that's in thanks to Skylar and Colby and what all those guys do, especially what we do in the weight room.
Ball security has been a huge thing under Roderick with quarterbacks. What is it that he's message that he kind of expectation he creates that gives you guys so far only one INT so far?
Yeah, I think it's just a core principle of what we do. Be smart with the football. And you have to toe the line. You have to be aggressive and to push the ball downfield, but you have to be smart about it. And I think the smart thing is you can throw a ball that's aggressive, but it's either us or nobody. Versus us or them, or just doing stupid things with the football and not being careful with it. So Rod and Coach Mitch talk about it all the time, and it's kind of one of our core principles in offense. And again, even when you don't play your best in offense, you take care of the ball, you score in the red zone, you put up a lot of points and not that many plays.
What does Kansas present defensively? Who are they like, and what challenges do they present?
Yeah, they're a good football team. They're undefeated like us, and they're really good on the perimeter. And the DBs are really talented. Up front, they have some really, really talented players too. Really, their whole defense is really well coached. They're solid. they run what they run, but they run it really efficiently, and they're aggressive. They get downhill, and those backers are good too. So again, it's pretty good, complete defense. They have really good offense too. So we have a challenge ahead of us, but I think I'm confident in our guys and our team too. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to compete with them.
Does Darius have any insight with his brother being on the squad to help you guys out at all?
Not really. It's more just, hey man, you got to make sure you're on your A game this week. 'Cause I got my brother, and I was like, yeah, well, we got Big 12 game this week too, so we got a lot at stake. But yeah, no, it's fun for him, and we're excited for him for the opportunity.
I want to ask you about the Big 12. How excited are you to finally be the first Big 12 game is actually here?
Yeah, really excited. It's huge for the program and former players and current players too. But and again, the last week was great. The first 3 weeks coming out 3-0 is awesome. But this is what really matters. Our goals are within conference play, and we take care of our games in the conference.
Kansas's defense is number 1 in havoc so far through the first 3 or 4 weeks. Does that kind of make you extra preparation, kind of knowing more about them than maybe another opponent, considering they're so high statistically in some areas?
Yeah, you're always aware of that stuff, and I think for most part, you just got to see on film, be prepared for anything, and know our own weaknesses and where we could be vulnerable, and having preparation for that. And a lot of that's in play design and with Rod, and they do a great job of that. And I feel like every week, we kind of know the defense's strengths, and I think good ways to attack it.
What was your impressions of BYU fans' first road game for you? Just the number of fans that were there in Fayetteville, and they're expected a large number this week.
Yeah, it's impressive, and I've always heard it. Whether we travel well or just show up well, if we live, in the state or in the area, we have the best fan base in the country, I think. And I saw it at USC when we were playing at the Coliseum. They packed the place out, and it was nice to be at Arkansas, have really a whole corner of the stadium just dressed in blue, and it got loud, and it was awesome at the end to celebrate with them. But yeah, I think we have one of the best fan bases, if not the best fan base in college football.
Speaking of loud, have you guys pumped in any noise because it got so outgoing?
Yeah, we are. We did that the last 2 weeks. I had to mess with Josh. It was almost too loud the other day. So yeah, we've been doing that. That was another thing last week that was good operation-wise. It got loud at Arkansas, and thought we handled it well, and we need to continue to do that on the road.
I was just going to ask if it works. Does that sort of thing work? You've been around 5 years.
Yeah, no, I've done it everywhere I've been. It gets annoying, and it's more constant. It's almost like as soon as the play ends, they start pumping it for the full 30 seconds of the play clock. So it does get annoying sometimes, but it's good for communication. If anything, over communication. Might lose my voice by the end of the week, but it's good preparation for the game for sure.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Keaton. Oh, look at this. Okay, so
One-word answers.
how much golf you played recently?
Oh, come on. You trying to get me fired? 0. And I'm not playing in the bye week either, if you're going to ask that.
I was going to ask you, like, hey, it's early October. You can still,
So what intel has Darius provided on at least the secondary of Kansas?
He's excited to play him. He says he hates them for 3 hours. No, he's close to a lot of the guys on the team, especially in the secondary. He knows a lot of those guys, but he just said it's when it kicks off, it's personal now, and none of those relationships matter until after the game. And so, but he's just given stuff that I'm sure he's gotten from his brother. They're a talented group, and stuff we've heard from other coaches and watching the film. But he's just more laser focused on us.
First quarter of the season's in the books. What would be your overall maybe assessment of the offense through non-conference play?
I'll just speak to the receivers and passing game, since that's under the umbrella my responsibilities. We got to get way better. We got to be more efficient in the passing game. We are struggling on third downs. I don't know where we rank, but our average third down distance is way too high, which means we got to be way more efficient on first and second down in the passing game. And so we got some things to clean up. There's been a lot of good things. There's been good plays made. Guys are starting to get comfortable with the offense, but we definitely got some strides we need to make on that.
Who drew up the trick play, and does it have a name? Can you divulge it?
Yeah, I can't divulge the name, and I won't divulge who drew it up. We'll leave all that stuff to A-Rod.
Was it inspired by an NFL team, like that Chiefs play a few years back?
No, it wasn't inspired by an NFL team. Yeah, it was inspired by the spirit. So
Is Parker the designated guy on that play because he was a high school quarterback?
yeah. You know what? Our room has a lot of really good throwers actually, and guys who can throw. We're like half and half on lefties and righties.
Okay.
So the options are endless of specials we can do, but yeah, Parker just happened to. I think he can throw the furthest of the guys, and he's got the prettiest motion. The others might get mad at me for saying that, but I speak truth.
Lonnie said earlier this week that he wants the team to kind of capture the urgency of the importance of playing in this first Big 12 game. Have you seen that in practice this week thus far?
Yeah, it's the guys don't need to be reminded, but as coaches, we're always reminding them this is the first Big 12 game ever in the history of BYU, and it will only be the first. And so how are you going to make your mark? And I think there's an added level of energy and anticipation, excitement, enthusiasm, and so I've been really appreciated watching these guys, how they bring it to practice every day.
Oh, go ahead.
Even beyond that gadget play, Parker's been getting just a ton of opportunities to showcase himself both offense and special teams. What's he kind of done to be able to earn as many opportunities as he had as a kid who, when he graduated high school, it was like a year and a half ago. To get those opportunities early, what's he kind of done?
Yeah, and he's never played a receiver, so it's kind of the 10,000 hour rule concept. It's a lot of our guys. They're all talented, but when you start to stack these reps on top of each other and things become really concrete in your head and you get it, that's the case with Parker. Everyone knows he's fast. He's got great fluidity. He has really good hands. But there's little nuances of the position in the playbook that sometimes just take a little bit of time. And now that he's been here in the program for a little bit, he's starting to get really comfortable, and that's why we're seeing him playing more.
Keon Marion and Darius Laster both had steep learning curves, transferring mid-year. Can you speak on their progress and where they're at?
Yeah, they've done a great job picking up the playbook. They got here, basically they only had summer with the players alone without the coaches to pick up the playbook. And then they had those 3.5 weeks of fall camp. I'm really happy with their progress. They've both picked up the playbook, and I trust them to play every single down. They're great additions to the room in terms of their personality, their physicality, what they bring, their experience, and just really grateful they're here. So, yeah, they've done a great job picking things up.
Cody got his first live action last week. Health-wise, is he still good to go for coming back for another game this week?
That's the plan, yeah, until we hear otherwise. But he's been practicing, and we got to keep working him in as long as he feels 100% healthy.
Jesse, what's it like seeing a guy like Chase make a one-handed grab in a moment like that? What's that like for you?
It was cool. He honestly, especially in that moment, he needed that. I think he's wearing the fumble really hard, as he should have, because that was a critical play, and we put our defense in a tough situation, and he knew that. And so for him to be able to come back and kind of tell the team, I got you guys, was good for him to see, and it was spectacular. But I think he and I have heard and seen enough of that catch. So.
A lot was made coming into this ramp up the past 2 years for the Big 12 about getting additional support staff, getting additional resources. As you as a positional coach, has your workload maybe eased up a little bit in season with the additional hands, helping you guys create a game plan?
It's the same for me, actually. My individual process is the same, but overall, collectively, as a staff, as we do things, that's where it's really been impactful. But my process has kind of just remained the same, despite lack of support staff or having it. So
how much has that helped though in the preparation, the readiness to help the team get ready for these games?
A lot. It frees us, frees the full-time coaches up a lot to focus more on, the task at hand, the opponents, more specific things we need to take care of. And so for them to kind of be on the side and filter a lot of things to us is super helpful.
As far as breaking down Kansas, what do they present defensively? What are the challenges?
Tough. They got a great culture. They're a good football team. They've turned things around over the last couple of years. They're no longer just a basketball school. They've done a great job with their program. They play tough. It's culture. It's our culture against their culture. It really is. They got really good players and a sound defense. They fly to the ball. They play hard, and that says a lot about a team, how they play, how they pursue. And when you see guys doing that, you can tell that they're coached well. And so we're excited. It's a good matchup for us, and excited to see what Saturday brings.
How many receivers have you been traveling, and will that stay the same?
I've traveled anywhere from about 8 to 10, and those last couple are usually dependent on special teams needs. And so I've been playing about 5 or 6 and travel about 8 to 10.
Any similarities between Arkansas and Kansas that
Yeah.
will translate?
Yeah, they're corners, real long, real physical. Schematically, they play. When they choose to play man, they play an aggressive style, which will be good for us. We need to improve on that area from last game. Safeties are physical, strong. They play hard. They fly to the ball. So I think there are a lot of similarities, more in culture, in personnel, and not so much in scheme. So
As far as creating separation versus Arkansas, what did you see in film from your wide receiver group? How were they? Were they creating separation? How did they do it?
Yeah, we struggled on that. We need to do better. There were some good things. You saw Keelan's deep play. There were a couple that we did break loose and weren't able to get the ball off, or it was a miss hit. But there were some good things. But overall, Arkansas got us there. Their length was a challenge. I got to do a better job of getting my guys better prepared for that type of corner and that type of defense. And so there's flashes of that with Kansas, and we're working on those things. And if that shows up, we got to do a better job.
With you being part of the passing game, what's been your impressions of Keaton through the first 3 games?
Keaton's awesome, man. There's a lot of things that are hard to see. It's easy. You watch the game, you see the stats, and sometimes it's easy to look over just some of those critical things that a quarterback has to have and what they do. And Keaton's he checks every box. He's a great leader. He's so poised, especially in that game setting when things can get intense. There's a lot of pressure. Keaton doesn't waver, and it's easier said than done not to do that. And I've been really impressed with how he's just picked up the rifle when we're down and how he just keeps hitting. And I've been really impressed with him after through 3 weeks. A lot of what are the perceived struggles with him is an 11-man deal on offense. We need to do better at receivers, at the receiver position, and getting open and making plays, which will in turn make him look better. And that can go for every position. So, but overall, really glad he's our quarterback.
How much is he managing in a given play that Roderick's throwing at him? Just what he's sorting through at any given play in this offense?
Yeah, it varies by the play. There's some plays where we take all the thinking off his plate. There's some where there's just a little bit required, and then there's some where we're putting it all on him. And no matter what we do, he seems to handle it really well. The more we go, the more we evolve in this offense, that he evolves, the more we feel we can continually give him. So anything we've put on his plate, he's managed it really well, which makes us super comfortable as a coaching staff to give him more in the future.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Appreciate you guys.
Last one? No, kidding. Just ask you about the science and how Parker